People always tell me, "Doctor, I take my fish oil every morning, so my brain must be protected, right?" And every time I hear that, my heart gets tight because I know most seniors are relying on something that simply isn't enough. In fact, what I'm about to tell you may surprise you. What I'm about to tell you may shock you a little. But I need you to hear it with calm attention. But I need you to hear it with the calm attention it is. And while you believe you're doing the right thing, you think it is, there are two simple nutrients sitting inside your own home. Nutrients most people ignore, that do far more to protect your brain from dementia. And the most worrying part is this. Many seniors are losing memory faster not because of aging, but because they are missing these two nutrients that almost every household has, yet almost nobody uses correctly. Let me say this clearly. It's not your age. It's not just forgetfulness. It's not genetics working against you. There is something much simpler happening, something silent, something that nearly every senior does wrong without realizing it. And while they think fish oil is enough, the brain is quietly starving for what it truly needs. I don't want that for you. I don't want you to be one of those people who only understand this when it's already too late. Recently, the world watched as a former U.S. President Donald Trump spoke openly about undergoing a cognitive test to evaluate his memory and thinking speed. And do you know what this tells us? That even powerful people surrounded by the best doctors fear cognitive decline. They worry about forgetting names, losing clarity, becoming confused in simple conversations, just like any ordinary person. If someone like that can lose sleep over memory loss, why should regular seniors think they are safe? Our brains are fragile. They demand the right fuel, not the popular one, not the one everybody takes, but the one that truly feeds the cells responsible for memory, focus, and long-term clarity. My name is Elizabeth Collins. I am a specialist in brain health and cognitive diseases in seniors. And for more than 25 years, I have held the hands of thousands of men and women who were terrified of losing themselves inside their own minds. I've seen people decline quickly, and I've seen others recover sharpness simply by correcting small nutritional gaps. That is why I speak with such firmness and such affection. I want you to feel safe, but I also want you to understand the urgency. Because dementia does not start when a doctor gives a diagnosis. It starts years earlier, through little mistakes, small deficiencies, and habits so ordinary that no one questions them. You may not realize this, but your brain depends heavily on two nutrients that are far more powerful than fish oil for long-term protection. They are found in simple foods you probably have at home, foods you've eaten your entire life. Yet perhaps you never imagined how essential they truly are. When these nutrients are missing, your brain struggles to communicate. Neurons lose speed. Memory becomes foggy. You walk into a room and forget why. You mix up names. You search for simple words. You feel mentally slower, and you blame aging. But it's not aging. It's a lack of the right fuel. Fuel that has been under your nose all along. I had a patient last year, a quiet man who believed he was just getting old. He had trouble remembering conversations from the previous week. He felt confused paying bills. He told me he feared ending up dependent on his children. But when we corrected only two nutrients in his routine, two nutrients I will reveal to you shortly, his clarity improved within weeks. His wife came to me with tears in her eyes and said, "He's himself again." Stories like his are the reason I insist. The right information can change everything, and you deserve to hear this in a simple human way. Not with complicated medical words, not with theories that don't apply to real life, just truth. Truth that might protect your independence, your identity, and your ability to think clearly for many years ahead. Before I reveal these nutrients, I want to ask you something important. Tell me in the comments. What memory problems have you been facing lately? Forgetting names, losing objects, trouble focusing? Or maybe you want me to create a video about a specific symptom you're worried about. You can also tell me your name and where you're watching from. I love knowing who I'm helping. The truth is that your brain has been whispering for help long before you notice the first signs of forgetfulness. And the two nutrients I'm about to explain are not rare, expensive, or exotic. They are humble, everyday nutrients that many seniors stopped valuing simply because they seem too simple to matter. But simplicity is exactly what the brain loves. It doesn't need magic. It needs what it was designed to use since the day you were born. The first nutrient is choline. Most people don't even know how to pronounce it, yet it is one of the most vital fuels for memory formation. Your brain uses choline to create acetylcholine, the messenger that allows your neurons to talk to each other. When this messenger is strong, your ideas connect smoothly. Your memories stay organized. Your thinking feels light and steady. But when choline is missing, your brain struggles like a radio with weak signal. Words fade, thoughts break, and your clarity evaporates little by little. What frightens me is that many seniors unknowingly eat breakfasts that contain almost no choline at all. They think they are choosing healthy options, yet those options provide zero support for cognitive protection. Meanwhile, foods like eggs, simple, affordable, familiar, are rich in choline, but many older adults avoid them out of old nutritional myths that no longer make sense today. I remember a gentle woman, around 74 years old, who looked at me with frustration because she kept forgetting why she walked into rooms. When I asked about her diet, she proudly said she avoided eggs for years, believing they were dangerous for her health. When we reintroduced them carefully into her routine, her mental fog lifted faster than she expected. She didn't become a new person overnight, but she felt more awake, more present, more herself. This is the quiet power of choline. Subtle, yet transformative. The second nutrient, vitamin B12, is even more underestimated, especially by seniors. What many people don't know is that after age 60, the stomach absorbs far less B12, even from foods you've eaten your whole life. Without enough B12, your brain cells lose their insulation, the protective coating that keeps your thoughts fast and sharp. Imagine electrical wires without proper covering. Signals slow, spark, or disappear. That's what happens inside a B12-deprived brain. People begin mixing up small details, forgetting recent conversations, or feeling mentally tired even after resting. This deficiency becomes even more dangerous because the symptoms mimic dementia so closely that many people panic, thinking the worst has begun. But in countless cases, it's simply low B12 silently weakening the brain. When corrected, the improvement feels almost like someone turned the lights back on. Foods like milk, cheese, and simple meats supply B12, yet many older adults restrict them unnecessarily, believing they are too heavy or not good at my age, without realizing that these foods are actually protecting their mind far more than fish oil ever did. And I want you to understand something with kindness. None of this is your fault. For decades, seniors were told to fear foods that are, in reality, essential for brain strength. You were guided toward supplements that help only a tiny part of cognitive health, while the true defenders, these two simple nutrients, were ignored as if they were unimportant. Your brain has paid the price for this misunderstanding, but it doesn't have to continue like that. It doesn't matter if you're 60, 70, or even 85. The brain responds at any age. I have seen it again and again in my clinic. Even slight increases in choline and B12 can bring more clarity, faster recall, and a stronger sense of presence in daily life. These nutrients don't just help you remember, they help you stay connected to who you are. And before I continue revealing what these nutrients can truly do inside your brain, I would love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, have you ever gone through a phase where you felt more forgetful and blamed it on aging? Have you avoided eggs, dairy, or other everyday foods without knowing they might protect your mind? Or is there someone in your family you're worried about? Your story might help guide the next video and could even help someone else feel less alone. Now that you understand why these two nutrients matter, let me take you deeper into something most people never hear. The brain doesn't just benefit from choline and B12. It depends on them for survival. And when I say survival, I'm not exaggerating. Your neurons are living cells, and just like your heart needs oxygen, your brain needs these two nutrients to keep its identity intact. Without them, the brain begins a slow, quiet process of shrinking its connections. You don't feel it happening at first. You only notice it when your mental sharpness slips in small, painful ways, losing track of conversations, forgetting whether you locked the door, or suddenly struggling to find a simple word that used to come instantly. This is why I tell my patients that choline and B12 are not supplements. They are protectors. They are the armor your brain wears every single day. And here is where the real secret lies. When these two nutrients work together, they create a powerful shield against cognitive decline. Choline strengthens communication between brain cells. B12 strengthens the structure and speed of those connections. It's like improving both the message and the wiring at the same time. Fish oil alone simply cannot create this combined effect. And let me share something that still surprises many seniors. The foods richest in these nutrients are not fancy, expensive, or new. They're the foods you grew up eating, the foods your grandmother prepared, the foods people abandoned only because modern nutrition trends told them to. I often see seniors proudly cutting out eggs, dairy, or simple meats, thinking they're protecting their health, when in reality, they are weakening their mind little by little. It breaks my heart because these choices are made with good intentions, but they lead to confusion, fatigue, irritability, and gaps in memory that feel frightening. I had a patient, a retired teacher, gentle and sharp, who came to me saying, "Doctor, I feel like my thoughts used to walk. Now they crawl. She feared early dementia. She feared losing the ability to read, teach, and share stories with her grandchildren. When I reviewed her diet, I saw she had eliminated nearly all sources of B12 and choline in favor of so-called light foods. We made one simple adjustment, adding 2 ordinary foods back into her routine. Within weeks, she told me, with tears of relief, "My mind feels alive again. Not cured, not perfect, but alive." That is the hidden power you have overlooked. And this brings me to the heart of everything I want to give you today. You are not powerless. Your brain is not doomed to fade. You are not a passenger in your own decline. Even at 60, 70, 80, or older, the brain responds when you give it what it has been missing. It's never too late for clarity. Never too late for mental strength. Never too late to feel that beautiful sensation of waking up and thinking, "I'm sharp today." But I want you to pay close attention now, because here comes the part most people get wrong. Even if they know about choline and B12, even if they try to include them, they make a mistake that silently cancels the benefits. A mistake that almost every senior repeats daily without ever questioning it. A mistake that weakens neurons, increases inflammation, and makes the brain feel older than it truly is. When I reveal these mistakes, my patients usually widen their eyes and say, "I had no idea this was hurting me." This moment is important because the brain cannot fight 2 battles at once. It cannot protect itself and constantly repair damage from habits that sabotage it. And many of these habits feel harmless, even innocent. But inside the brain, they are not harmless at all. They make the nutrients you take, choline, B12, even fish oil, less effective. They slow your thinking. They disturb your focus. They accelerate confusion. Seniors all over the world are unknowingly doing things that push their brain in the wrong direction, day after day. So before I continue, I want to hear from you. Tell me something in the comments. Have you ever noticed that some days your brain feels quick, and other days it feels cloudy for no reason? Do you think certain foods or habits might be making it worse? Or is there a specific symptom, forgetting appointments, misplacing objects, losing your train of thought, that you want me to explain in a future video? Your message helps me understand what you need most. There is something I need you to understand with complete clarity. Even if you consume choline and B12, even if you start choosing the right foods, your brain can still suffer if you make 3 common mistakes that quietly damage memory every single day. These mistakes are so ordinary, so familiar, that most seniors never imagined they could harm the mind. But I have watched these errors accelerate confusion, weaken concentration, and even trigger symptoms that resemble early dementia. When patients correct these mistakes, the difference in their mental stability is often remarkable. The first mistake is skipping protein in the morning. Many seniors replace a real breakfast with toast, crackers, or fruit alone, believing it is lighter or healthier. But without morning protein, the brain receives almost no choline or B12 when it needs it the most. Your brain is hungriest after you wake up. It needs strong fuel to stabilize memory for the rest of the day. When you start your morning with only carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises quickly and then drops, leaving you tired, forgetful, and mentally slow. I cannot count how many times I have heard, "Doctor, I feel foggy before noon." And almost always, the cause is a breakfast that starves the brain. Something as simple as an egg, a small portion of cheese, or a bit of lean meat provides the nutrients your neurons rely on. But day after day, seniors choose empty breakfasts, and by the time afternoon arrives, their brain has been undernourished for hours. This one shift, adding real protein, can change the entire rhythm of your mind. The second mistake is mixing sugary drinks with meals that contain choline or B12. Many people don't think twice about drinking juice, sweetened tea, or even certain healthy beverages alongside their food. But sugar blocks the proper absorption of key nutrients and creates inflammation that directly harms the brain's communication pathways. When sugar enters your system at the same time as choline or B12, it interferes with how your body processes and uses them. I've seen seniors take supplements faithfully, eat the right foods, and still struggle with memory simply because they pair their meal with a sugary drink. Replacing these drinks with water or unsweetened tea allows the nutrients to work effectively and reduces the mental heaviness that sugar causes. It's a gentle change, but its impact on clarity is powerful. The third mistake is eating too late at night. Many seniors believe that a late dinner or bedtime snack helps them sleep, but the opposite is often true. When you eat too close to bedtime, your body focuses on digestion instead of restoring the brain. During sleep, your brain needs to clear toxins, organize memories, and repair the tiny connections that keep you sharp. But if your stomach is busy breaking down food, the brain cannot complete these essential tasks. This leads to waking up foggy, irritable, or struggling to remember simple details from the day before. I've seen older adults transform their mornings simply by moving dinner earlier. Their mood improves, their thinking becomes more stable, and their memory feels more reliable. It's a correction that requires no medication and no complicated plan, just a shift in timing. These three mistakes work together in a destructive way. A weak breakfast deprives the brain. Sugary drinks block the little nutrients you do consume. Late meals rob the brain of the deep repair it desperately needs. When all three occur regularly, they create the perfect storm for memory decline. But when corrected, they become the foundation for mental strength and resilience. I've seen seniors regain confidence, communicate more easily, and even feel hopeful again because they finally understand that memory loss is not random. It's influenced by choices they can change. And I want to remind you of something important. None of these mistakes make you a failure. They make you human. You were never taught these things. No one explained how breakfast shapes memory, how sugar disrupts nutrient absorption, or how nighttime eating affects cognitive healing. But now you know. And this knowledge gives you control over something most people believe they cannot change. You can protect your brain. You can slow the aging of your memory. You can feel clarity returning, slowly and steadily. Before I continue, tell me something in the comments. Which of these mistakes have you made without realizing it? Do you tend to eat late? Do you drink juice or sweetened tea with meals? Or have you always believed that a light breakfast was healthier? Your answer helps me understand your routine and what guidance you might need next. The more you understand how your brain reacts to these simple nutrients and daily habits, the more power you gain over your own future. And I want to guide you gently into this final part, with something I've told every patient who has ever sat across from me. Nervous, worried, afraid of what memory loss might mean. Your brain is not your enemy. It is trying to protect you. It has been trying your entire life, even when you forget a name, even when you feel confused for a moment, even when you fear dementia. Your brain is still fighting for you. It only needs the right support, and it needs you to stop the quiet damage that has been happening unnoticed for years. Choline and B12 work like the two hands that lift your mind back into balance. When you give your brain these nutrients regularly, the fog doesn't just lift, your sense of identity strengthens. You feel more present in conversations. You remember what you read. You recognize the small joys of your day with more clarity. And when you correct the dangerous mistakes that silently undermined your brain, skipping protein, mixing sugar with nutrient-rich meals, eating too late, you allow these nutrients to act fully, restoring communication inside your mind with a strength you may not have felt in years. I've watched this transformation in countless seniors. They come to me believing their decline is inevitable, that their forgetfulness is permanent, that their future is fixed. Then, slowly, as they nourish their brain correctly and remove what harms it, they begin to shine again. A man who struggled to remember the names of his grandchildren began greeting them confidently. A woman who felt lost in conversations rediscovered her ability to follow every word. Another patient who feared she was slipping away told me, with relief in her voice, "My brain feels like it woke up." And I want you to feel that too. It is not only possible, it is common when the brain receives the right help. Your memory is not a fragile flame that disappears without warning. It is a living network of millions of connections that can be strengthened, rebuilt, and protected. Even if you have spent years eating in ways that didn't support your brain, even if you relied on fish oil believing it was enough, even if you've been making those 3 common mistakes every day, your brain has not given up. It reacts quickly when you correct your path. It rewards you. It regains energy, speed, and stability. And that's why I speak to you with both urgency and affection. Dementia is not something that arrives overnight. It grows slowly from deficiencies, inflammation, and habits that seem innocent. But the same way decline builds over time, protection builds too. Every egg you eat, every small source of B12 you include, every day you avoid sugary drinks with your meals, every night you give your brain the rest it needs. Each of these choices is a message to your brain saying, "I am taking care of you now." And the brain responds. It always responds. So I want you to take a breath and imagine something with me. Imagine waking up one morning and feeling clear before you even get out of bed. Imagine remembering your plans easily. Imagine conversations flowing naturally. Imagine your family noticing your sharpness and saying, "You're doing so well lately." This is not a fantasy. I've seen it happen too many times to call it luck. It is the natural result